Hey Gatekeepers, welcome back to Weekly Soap Chronicles. Today I'm bringing you a recap of episode 177 and spoilers for next week, November 24th to the 28th. Let's get into it. Episode 177 starts off with Martin licking his wounds after losing a squash game to his grandfather Vernon. Vernon wastes no time clowning him. But things shift fast when Martin mentions that their phones have been blowing up over that education bill. The political clock is ticking. Re-elections are looming, and Vernon thinks Martin is going soft. Then we get a heavy flashback moment, Hurricane Katrina. They remember grandmothers stranded on rooftops while they were safe in Fairmont Crest with perfectly trimmed lawns. Martin even asked Vernon back then, "What are we doing?" And Vernon says at the time, "Well, we could, but it definitely wasn't enough." Now, rumors are swirling that Martin is about to face a serious primary challenger. And bureaucracy is wearing him down because they got him reading stuff about subcommittees and what have you. And the man is worn out. Meanwhile, at home, Tyrell is annoyed because Samantha is apparently eating everything in sight. Of course, I have no phones, no tablets, no life. So this is it. Meanwhile, Smitty invites the kids to some huge live stream gaming event. But Tyrell, he's thinking about Jessica. He wants her at Thanksgiving dinner. Samantha immediately starts roasting him as sisters do, and Smitty says he'll ask Martin, but he's concerned things are getting serious way too fast. Then the real tension hits. Smitty tries to shift the convo to colleges, but Tyrell shrugs off Banneker, the school he's been dreaming about forever. Out of nowhere, he wants UCLA. Smitty's like, since when? And Samantha's like, because Jessica goes to UCLA. Why you got a big mouth? Okay, so Smitty asks Samantha to go on and leave. She goes upstairs. He knows Smitty doesn't love the idea, but he feels something special with Jessica. Smitty gives the dad speech of the century. If it's real, love survives. If it doesn't, it wasn't meant to. Tyrell eventually goes upstairs and Martin walks in ready to detonate. Smitty fills him in and Martin, of course, explodes because they can never have a conversation where one of them is like, and here they go. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Martin absolutely refuses UCLA. He demands control, starts spiraling over puppy love, derailing Tyrell's life. Smitty tries to calm him down. He reminds Martin, you cannot control kids forever. So in the meantime, we'll just watch, wait, and see what happens. Martin promises that he will do that. And then they pivot to Vernon and politics. Vernon is gearing up for war, and Smitty says that's fine as long as Martin promises that family comes first. So any occasion, Tyrell's graduation, Samantha's cotillion, you will be there. And Martin promises that family comes first over politics. Moving on, Laura is helping Nicole prep for Winterfest, and Nicole wants to add a mental health slideshow. And then, as she's on the phone with Laura, in comes Carlton. Compliments locked and loaded. Nicole's not having it at first because she's like, okay, why are you here? I already told you that I'm not ready to date. And he's like, no, I'm here because I want to be your escort for the Winterfest. And she's like, And he, of course, is gassing her up. oh yes, I know that you're so busy with Winterfest and you're just this wonderful woman, and she's on this pillar that he has been fiending for ever since they were young. Okay, it's just like, oh my gosh. Then, of course, they go back down memory lane talking about the fun they used to have at the Winterfest back in the day and things that jumped off and how they just laughed at everyone. And, oh, yes, it was just so much fun. And the way they was reminiscing like Ted wasn't nowhere around. Okay? Of course, Nicole is like, yeah, those were fun times. Oh, all right then. I'll go with you to the Winterfest, but as friends. Let me make this clear. Just friends. Okay, so sad note. Carlton has had this torch for Nicole for the last 20 years, apparently. He ain't got no wife, no girlfriend. He never had children. He just been a solo dude all these time pining away for Nicole. Okay. So Laura starts to leave Orphe Jeans to work on the Winterfest presentation for Nicole. But Leslie pops up like a horror movie jump scare and says, you know, we need to stop meeting like this. People will think I'm stalking you. Laura backs away real quick. Leslie shrugs like she didn't just terrify that poor girl. And then Anita sees the whole thing unfold and it's like, what were you doing to Laura? Leslie acts innocent, claims, oh, I would never hurt Laura. And Anita, of course, warns her. Laura is like family. Don't trifle with her again. Leslie brushes it off, saying she's incapable of trifling behavior, which of course is the biggest lie of 2025. She then compliments Anita's trust fund and saying that it was the best thing that could have happened to her and Eva, because now they have changed their station in life. Then she starts digging about Vernon because Anita says, yes, all of Winterfest planning is a family affair and Vernon helps out as well. And Leslie starts talking about, oh yeah, I'm surprised that Vernon has so much time and whatever, you know what I'm saying? And she mentioned the word affairs, and Anita was of course like, what you mean by that? No, I'm just saying that the Winterfest affair is an event that everyone can enjoy. Yeah, okay. Then the hospital calls Leslie. It's about Peaches, and she gets up and leaves. Eva comes in to Orphe Jeans expecting to meet with Leslie. She sees Anita. Anita lets her know that Leslie got a call about Peaches at the hospital. It wasn't that serious, according to Leslie. Eva sits down and apologizes for how she treated Nicole during the whole mess with her mother. She admits she knew right from wrong, but acted anyway. She's grateful for Ted. She hates that Alan failed her. And Anita feels a little bad for Leslie having to having to raise a child as a single parent, with hardly any money. She doesn't know if she could do it. You know what I'm saying? Later, Laura and Leslie run into each other in the hospital, and Leslie calls her a little girl. And of course, Laura snaps back and say, I am a grown ass woman and you need to get up out my face. You're nothing but a criminal walking free. You tried to kill me twice. And Leslie says, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead. I don't leave loose ends. And then she starts laughing. Girl, I'm just kidding. Woo, Leslie. And Leslie does it on purpose because she knows she can intimidate Laura. She knows it. And she gets a big kick out of it. Nicole steps in and rescues Laura and drags her to her office for a hug therapy combination. Outside in the halls of the hospital, Leslie runs into Carlton and suggests they join forces to prevent Nicole and Ted from ever reconciling. Okay, here we go again. Anybody she sees in town that looks like they are against the Duprees in any type of way, she trying to recruit them to be on her side. Carlton is the next victim. And finally, back at the club, Vernon calls Sharon. And let's just say the conversation is suggestive. You know, the last time was one for the record books. I can't wait to see you again. Boy, I tell you, they really trying to make it seem like Sharon and Vernon are having an affair. But I don't know why they making the conversation like that, only for us to find out at the end of the day it's not an affair and he helping her with singing lessons. But like somebody has said, if he is having singing lessons in the hotel room, wouldn't other people hear it? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know now. Okay, what do y'all think, gatekeepers? Y'all still think that he in it for the singing lessons? Or are they really fooling around? All right, gatekeepers, that's a wrap on episode 177. Now we move on to spoilers for next week. And it's only going to be Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be preempted or showing a rerun. So on Monday, Kat has been mad at the world, but of course her favorite target is Eva. Okay, but this time Kat actually gets some solid advice from Nicole. Meanwhile, the Hawthorne family is prepping for Thanksgiving, which means the tension is thick enough to carve with a carving knife. Isaiah receives some truly good advice about navigating the holiday with his father. The question is, will he actually take it? And then we have Leslie. Your girl somehow makes a brand new connection. She walks into Uptown and bam, there's Marcell. He hits her with, "Hello, pretty lady." And without missing a beat, Leslie hits back, "You're a cop." And then he asks, "Is that a problem?" And that's when Ted walks in. So I'm wondering what Leslie's reaction is going to be then. And Ted's reaction for that matter. Now on Tuesday, we got Joey and Vanessa. These two continue embracing their wonderfully weird and unconventional relationship. Meanwhile, across town, the Dupree family pulls out their annual traditions. Warm, cozy, wholesome. But while Bill is soaking up the comfort, his wife is stewing like she's mentally preparing for a dramatic holiday monologue. She says to Bill, "You knew that your ex was going to be here and you brought me here anyway? Why would you do that?" So I'm confused about that statement because the only ex that we know of Bill is Dani. So she's been places where Dani has been before and will be in the future because Dani will definitely be at the Winterfest. So what is she talking about? Okay. And speaking of Dani, she and Andre are at home cooking their first holiday meal together. It's adorable. And then all of a sudden the oven starts smoking. The smoke alarm goes off and Andre has to put out the fire with a fire extinguisher. And then we have Eva. For the first time in her life, she gets to celebrate a special occasion with both her parents. It's emotional, it's healing, and probably the calm before the storm. And finally, Martin and Smitty are hosting Thanksgiving dinner and they're welcoming someone special. In my opinion, theory, I think that it is June. All right, gatekeepers, those are your teasers for next week. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a recap or a spoiler video from Weekly Soap Chronicles. Until next time, gatekeepers, keep it dramatic.